Well, can you believe it? Today marks 1,000 days since families and community members started camping outside Lily Mine in Mpumalanga. They're demanding the recovery of the bodies of their loved ones. Priti Ngambule, Solomon Inyarenda and Yvonne Mnisi were trapped underground in Barberton 5 years ago. But to this day, their families have not been able to get any answers or closure. Senior reporter Siphamandla Goge is outside the mine where they were set up and they are still set up. Hello to you, Siphamandla. They say that time heals everything, but with that time you need the closure, and these families just don't have that.
Absolutely. It's been 1,000 days today since the 5th of February 2016. No action at all, and then I can tell you that the family members of the trio are devastated. They say they want closure and they are not getting that. They are not getting any support from the government. According to them, they would want to see more action. Behind me is the mine where the tragedy happened. That is the Lily Mine where everything happened. That tragedy happened over there. And the families are still asking and seeking answers. They are saying they would not rest up until they get the answers. We are on our way to the mine right now. Earlier on in the morning, there was a prayer session. Family members went inside there to have a prayer. Between 10 and 12 today, rather, there will be another prayer session. Yesterday, there was a night vigil. Family members, colleagues, and community members coming together really to try and get some divine intervention. They are calling for prayers, they are calling for answers. Herman Mashaba of Action SA has been trying to help family members. He has just arrived here today. Yesterday he was here. Ndari Mashaba, thank you very much for your time. Let's talk about today. It's a very sad day, not only for the families of the Lily Mine trio, but for South Africa as a whole. It's a tragedy.
It's really very tragic, very hurtful, very painful that, I was saying to my colleagues earlier on as we were walking towards the mine that I'd really wish that this was just a dream by Hollywood creating some kind of fiction. Unfortunately, this is real. As you're aware, the families and the former miners have been camping now. Today, it's exactly 1,000 days. The container itself on the 5th of February will be 6 years. When the government of the Republic of South Africa, working with management of this mine, lied to us as South Africa that this container cannot really be retrieved. It got us as Action SA at a very high legal cost to expose the lie that this container cannot be retrieved, because there's one or two of the companies that have offered to reopen this mine, re-employ the 1,000 or so people who are employed here, including actually retrieving this container. So I'm here today, like I do all the time, to ensure that whoever is under impression that we will forget about this tragedy, it is not going to be forgotten. In fact, you look at this tragedy, it is going to go beyond all of us. The container is going to be eventually retrieved, whether this government likes it or not. This container is going to be retrieved, and it's going to really be a reminder, all of us as South Africans, let's keep in mind that when we have an evil government, this can really something that can really happen.
You are also assisting family members with some legal action. Please bring up to speed with that. How far is that?
Yeah, well, it is because of our legal intervention that we uncovered the lies that this container cannot really be retrieved. I think our legal cost to date are in excess of 1.3 million rands and growing every day. And it's not just really the direct legal cost. We've got to feed the family all the time because we look at their living conditions. So we've got to be here. I don't know how many times I've been here, really just trying to really get South Africans to really wake up to this evil, because I hear from time to time people talking about Black Lives Matter. Now I'm asking, is the Priti Ngambule, Yvonne Mnisi and Solomon Inyarenda, are they not black enough? Their lives don't actually matter? Because People are just carrying on. They believe the lies of this government. The Minister of Minerals and Energy, I don't know how many times I've made contact with him to say, Minister, please, we want your intervention. The business rescue practitioners have also become party to this crime. This government and management unleash criminal elements against these families. You remember last year, their tents were set on fire. And who was leading this? Someone who got out of jail on parole doing 35 years for armed robbery and murder. Unleashed him on. Today, as I'm talking to you, it's over a year. We had to cause this additional legal cost. They're dealing with South African police services to get this man rearrested.
So simply put, you say there's no political will to solve this tragedy?
Actually, there's a political intervention to really not make it happen. The reason why all this violence is unleashed is to say to this people, to the families and the former miners, to say, please stay out of this. That is what I'm interested in, as to why our government is so keen on getting these people to really forget about this case. And I'm assuring them, the South African police, the National Prosecuting Authority of South Africa, this case is not going to be forgotten for as long as Herman Mashaba is around, and even beyond him.
Okay. Yesterday I heard something that family members, some of them say they were asked at some point to consider and give permission and blessings to the erection of a tombstone inside there, signaling that it appears that this, according to powers that be, they would want to see this closed, and some family members rejected that. Have you heard of a situation where family members were asked to approve of the erection of a tombstone inside?
Well, I heard it, but I don't really have full details, and I don't really believe that the families must accept such nonsense. I think let's get this container out. Let Pretty, Vaughan and Solomon be buried in their homestead so that the families can know where they are. Why must the tombstone be laid here? Yes, we have to really have a memory statue here after they've been retrieved and been buried in their family homestead. Then we can have this mine as a remembrance for future generations to really know what. When you have an evil government, these are the things that can happen.
We are told that some people are planning to revive the mine. There could be new owners here. And have you had any word with them? Have you engaged with them, potential buyers of this mine?
Well, I think through the courts, I'm sure you're aware there's been two court determination to give this mine to one of the companies. The company that, as I said earlier on, that is willing to reopen this mine. But part of the condition is that they will re-employ the affected miners and they will retrieve this mine. But unfortunately, there are two contempts of court. Even right now, we don't know that we're in a country where people don't, courts make determination and the companies just ignore them, and there's no government support.
Thank you very much for your time. That is Mr. Herman Mashaba, who is the leader of Action SA. He is one of the people and leaders who are assisting family members of the trio that remains trapped inside the Lily mine. It's been 6 years now and family members are just asking for closure.
1,000 days those families have been camped out where you are. Siphamandla Goge, for the moment, thank you very much. I know you're making your way down to the mine. We'll let you continue doing that and come back to you later in the day, I'm quite sure, here on eNCA.